It's only been 24 hours since the blackout started, but already most households are making critical mistakes. Your fridge might still be humming, but trust me, that cold air won't last. You think you've got enough batteries to get you through, but they're draining fast. And if you thought day one was a challenge, day two is where the real test begins. Because now, it's not just about candles and canned beans, it's about the hidden dangers no one ever talks about. And most people, they're woefully unprepared. We have already covered the basics of day one, the panic that hits as soon as the lights go out, the rush to secure water, the scramble to save your frozen dinners, the initial shock that makes even the most prepared feel vulnerable. But today, day two brings a whole new set of challenges most people never even think about until it's too late. The power's still out, your battery's at 20%, and suddenly that backup plan you thought was bulletproof is looking like a sieve. Hidden threats are lurking in every dark corner of your home, and they're ready to turn a simple inconvenience into a full-blown survival nightmare. Let's dive in. Number 1, water supply issues. By day 2 of a blackout, most people realize just how dependent they are on tap water and how quickly it can become a luxury. The sound of silence from your faucet, that's not just an inconvenience, it's a wake-up call. If you live in an apartment, the water might have stopped flowing hours ago when the pumps failed. And if you're lucky enough to have a gravity-fed system, remember, municipal water treatment plants rely on power to maintain pressure and purity. No electricity? That means your water might still flow, but is it safe to drink? Boil notices might hit your area like a ton of bricks, but how are you going to boil water with no power? Your electric kettle's useless, and your gas stove might run dry without an electric igniter. You'd better hope you remember to stash a propane camp stove or a rocket stove and enough fuel to last longer than a day. Worse yet, all that fancy bottled water you thought would last? It's already running low. You're drinking more than you planned, and you forgot about washing hands, brushing teeth, and cooking. Even the dog needs water. That 24-pack you bought at the store? It's a drop in the bucket. And let's not forget about toilets. Flushing eats up precious water reserves faster than a sponge in the desert. If your toilet tank is empty and there's no water pressure, what's your plan now? Did you fill up the bathtub on day 1 like we suggested, or did you skip that step, figuring the power would come back? By day 2, water scarcity stops being a background worry and starts being the main threat to your family's health. Dehydration sets in fast, hygiene starts to slide, and as the hours drag on, you realize if you didn't think about this ahead of time, your survival clock just started ticking. But here's the thing. It's not too late to pivot and fix your water problem before day 3 arrives. Let's talk solutions. First, get creative with what you do have. That half-full water heater in your basement, it's a hidden gold mine. Turn off the electricity or gas to it, let it cool, and drain it from the bottom valve. That's clean water ready to drink. If you didn't fill the bathtub on day 1, find any large containers. Trash cans lined with a clean bag, buckets, even pots and pans. Fill them with any trickle that's left from your tap. For filtration, even a basic camping filter can make rainwater or questionable tap water drinkable in a pinch. If you have no filter, you can still boil water using a rocket stove, a barbecue grill, or even an old-school metal coffee can over a small fire outside. And if all else fails, you can use bleach, 8 drops per gallon of clear water, wait 30 minutes, and it's safer than nothing. As for toilets, learn the 2-bucket system. 1 bucket for liquid waste and the other lined with a trash bag for solids. Number 2, food spoilage. What to eat first. On day 1, your fridge was still cold. Maybe you even managed to scrounge up a quick meal pretending nothing had changed. But now it's day 2, and that whiff of sour milk is your first clue that the clock on your perishable food has just run out. Most people make a critical mistake in this scenario. They open the fridge door a dozen times an hour, letting out precious cold air while they ponder what to grab. That's like holding the fridge door open in the middle of summer, trying to air condition the house. All you're doing is accelerating spoilage. So, what should you eat first? Prioritize high-protein, high-calorie foods that spoil quickly. Meat, dairy, eggs, anything that's not shelf-stable. If it's already warming up, cook it now. Even if you can't eat it all in one sitting, cook it and store it in a cooler with what ice you have left. Cooked meat lasts a little longer than raw, and every hour you delay is another hour the bacteria gets to work. And speaking of cooking, how exactly are you planning to do that? If your electric stove is dead, do you have a gas grill or propane stove? If not, your fancy dinner plans are going to be nothing but a fond memory. And let's not forget about that freezer. Once it starts to thaw, you've got a ticking time bomb on your hands. A half-thawed chicken is a salmonella nightmare waiting to happen. Even your canned goods come with their own surprises. Without a manual can opener, you're stuck playing stab the can with a kitchen knife, which is dangerous, inefficient, and guaranteed to raise your stress level. But let's not panic just yet. There are solutions. First, keep that fridge door closed. Every time you open it, you're speeding up spoilage. Next, organize your food wisely. Prioritize perishables like meat, dairy, eggs, and cook them first. No ice? Improvise. Keep the cooler in a shady, cool spot, such as the basement if you have one, and drape a wet towel over it to help keep the temperature down. As for cooking, even if the electric igniter on your gas stove is out, you can light it manually with a match or lighter. If that fails, a grill or a small camping stove can be a lifesaver. Got charcoal or wood? Use it. Remember, every meal now is about strategy. Play it smart and you'll stay healthy and fed. Number 3, battery and flashlight failure. By day 2, the honeymoon phase of your battery-powered flashlights and lanterns is over and reality sets in. Remember that cheap dollar store flashlight? It's already flickering like a dying star, and your headlamp that seemed bright last night? It's half as strong as it was. And don't even get me started on that fancy rechargeable camping lantern. No power means no recharging, and the USB brick you brought? It's already on its last bar. This is the point when most people realize that having batteries and having enough batteries are two different things. Those AAs you grabbed from the junk drawer last night? Already dead. The ones in the remote? Also dead. And that rechargeable battery pack you were so proud of? It's now a paperweight. When darkness falls on day 2, your home becomes an unfamiliar, menacing place. Shadows stretch in corners you never noticed, and every creak sounds like a burglar. That's when your flashlight, if it's still working, becomes your lifeline. Without it, you're navigating by memory and stubbed toes. And let's not forget, every time you use that flashlight, you're draining the battery even faster. Did you think to ration your light usage? Did you invest in LED flashlights that sip power instead of guzzling it? What about extra batteries? Did you buy enough to last a week or just a pack that was on sale? Even candles come with their own problems. Open flames and kids? Not a good combo. And the cheap tea lights you found in the back of a drawer? They burn out fast, maybe 2 or 3 hours if you're lucky. By day 2, the light's fading fast, and so is your sense of security. Without a reliable light source, your home is no longer your sanctuary. It's a shadowy maze, and every step forward feels like a gamble. But don't throw in the towel just yet. There are fixes. First, ration your light. Use flashlights only when necessary. Embrace the low and slow method. LED lights on the lowest setting to stretch battery life. Next, dig around for those camping headlamps or solar lanterns you bought but never tested. Even a weak headlamp is better than no light at all. And don't forget, you can recharge some lanterns using small solar panels during the day. If you have candles, place them safely, away from curtains and out of kids' reach. A deep jar or lantern housing helps prevent accidents. Finally, plan ahead. Keep a stash of extra batteries in all sizes and rotate them out regularly. Number 4, toilet sanitation emergency. By the time day 2 hits, the smell hits too. That's right, your toilet, which you've always taken for granted, is now your worst enemy. If you have municipal water and the pumps are still down, you probably can't flush. And if you're on a septic system, that fancy tank in the backyard, it's worthless without the water to fill it. Even if you stored some water for flushing, it's running low. And now every flush is a calculated risk. One flush means less water for drinking. And let's talk about hygiene. No running water means no hand washing, no cleaning surfaces, and no showers. Your home, once a place of comfort, is now a breeding ground for bacteria. That tiny bottle of hand sanitizer, it's getting dangerously low, and you're rationing every precious drop. Did you remember to stock up on disposable wipes, or are you now improvising with tissues and paper towels? And if you run out, what's the plan? Reusable cloths? That's fine until you realize there's no water to wash them. Trash is piling up too. Those plastic bags that once held cereal now hold literal waste, and there's nowhere to throw them. If you didn't plan ahead, you're stuck making tough choices. Bag it, bury it, or live with the smell. And with every hour, the risk of disease grows. Toilets are suddenly as useless as a paperweight. And let's not forget the psychological impact. Nobody wants to admit that their home now smells like a gas station bathroom. One slip up, one unwashed hand, and you're dealing with more than just an inconvenience. But don't let the stench win. First, if you still have water, prioritize flushing waste once or twice a day, using stored water sparingly. If flushing isn't an option, line the toilet bowl with a heavy-duty trash bag. Add a sprinkle of kitty litter, sawdust, or even baking soda to control the smell. Next, keep hand sanitizer close and ration it carefully. Use it after every bathroom visit. If you've run out of hand sanitizer, make a makeshift hand washing station using a small jug and a bar of soap. For trash, double bag waste and seal it tight. Store it outside, far from living areas, to minimize the risk of disease. Sanitation may be a gross subject, but it's the difference between health and an outbreak. Number 5, low phone battery and no communication. By day 2, your battery bar is flashing red. You've probably turned off Wi-Fi, dimmed the screen, maybe even put it in airplane mode just to squeeze out a few more minutes. But let's face it, without a generator or solar charger, that phone is on borrowed time. Remember all those USB power banks you hoarded? They sounded like a great idea until you realized they only charge your phone once or twice. And guess what? You already used them all on day 1, checking on relatives, scrolling news, and maybe even doom scrolling for updates. By day 2, your phone is basically a fancy paperweight. And let's not forget, even if you somehow had a charged phone, who are you calling? The cell towers might be down. Texts aren't going through. Calls drop after a ring or two. And that once reliable landline, also silent. That's when the panic sets in. No phone means no 911. No phone means no updates from authorities, and no idea if help is coming or if the blackout is going to last another day or a week. And let's talk about mental health. That phone was your link to sanity. Checking messages, scrolling for updates, sharing your fears, it all gave you a sense of control. Without it, every problem feels bigger. Every noise outside sounds like trouble. Did you plan for a backup? A crank radio to get emergency broadcasts? A printed contact list? Or were you, like most people, completely dependent on that glowing screen? Day 2 is the day you realize just how vulnerable we've become, tethered to a single device that can fail us at the worst possible moment. And with it goes the comfort of knowing help is just a call away. But all is not lost. There are ways to stay connected and informed, but it all requires pre-planning. If you planned ahead, a solar charger or hand crank generator can keep your phone or emergency radio running for crucial updates. A simple AM/FM or an OAA weather radio can help you tune in to emergency broadcasts. Number 6, entertainment and mental health drop. By day 2, the excitement of no power, let's play board games, and tell ghost stories has worn off. That candlelight dinner you tried to make romantic, now it's just dinner in the dark. The kids who were giggling and playing flashlight tag last night, they're bored out of their minds. This is when the mental strain really starts to creep in. Humans thrive on routine, and the blackout just shredded yours. No streaming movies, no music playlists, no video calls to friends. Even your favorite podcasts are off limits if your phone's dead. And let's face it, most people didn't prepare for the emotional side of a blackout. They stocked up on canned goods and batteries, but forgot about the long hours of nothing to do. The tension builds with every hour, and the walls start to feel like they're closing in. Kids get restless, adults get irritable. Every little thing starts to bother you, like that constant drip from the faucet or the creak of the floorboards. And without screens to distract you, every conversation feels like a chore. Did you think to pack a deck of cards, a few good books, maybe a journal to help process what's happening? If not, you're in for a long, slow grind of boredom, and that's when mistakes happen. Stress leads to bad decisions. Arguments flare. The morale that kept everyone strong on day 1 is now stretched thin. And let's not forget sleep. With no power, no AC or heater, and no white noise machine, every sound feels amplified. Neighbors shuffling around, dogs barking, even your own heartbeat, it all feels louder. And that's when sleep deprivation sets in, making day 3 even more challenging. Entertainment might seem like a luxury, but it's not. It's a critical part of mental health. Without it, day 2 drags on forever. Every minute feels like an hour. And that's when cracks begin to show. Cracks that can split families apart when things get even tougher. But this is exactly when you need a plan for mental health and entertainment. It's easy to underestimate the stress of boredom. Make sure everyone has a role. Kids can help with chores, adults can organize tasks or tell stories. Staying busy helps keep spirits up, and that's just as essential as food and water on day 2. Number 7, Medications, hygiene products, and pet needs. Day 2 isn't just about lights and heat. It's the day many people realize they've forgotten some of the most critical survival essentials: medications, hygiene products, and pet needs. Imagine opening your medicine cabinet and realizing that half-empty bottle of insulin or that tiny inhaler is all you have left and no pharmacy is open. You'd be shocked at how quickly essential meds become a crisis. Blood pressure pills, asthma inhalers, antidepressants, even simple pain relievers. If you're down to your last dose, panic sets in fast. And then there's hygiene. People often laugh off the idea of personal hygiene in a crisis until they're on day 2 with no running water, no working showers, no soap or shampoo that's easy to use. Even brushing your teeth becomes a challenge when you're rationing your last bottle of water. And don't even get me started on feminine hygiene products. Pet owners face the same harsh reality. That bag of kibble in the pantry might have seemed like enough until you realize you've only got 2 days worth left, and your cat or dog is looking at you with that expectant stare. No power, no vet, no pet stores open. You're on your own, and your furry friend is counting on you. This is the segment where tough decisions hit home. Do you ration your own water for your dog? Do you skip a dose of your own medication to make it last longer? And let's not forget the mental toll of knowing your health or your pet's health is at risk. And there's no easy fix. By now, you know it's not just about batteries and canned beans. It's about the stuff that keeps you and everyone you love alive and well. Stock at least a 2-week supply of essential meds and rotate them regularly. Dry shampoo, hand sanitizer, and dental wipes can go a long way when showers are a luxury. Disposable feminine hygiene products and baby wipes aren't just for convenience, they're essential. For pets, keep at least a week's worth of food, water, and any meds they need. Even a manual water filter can help stretch that precious supply. Number 8, security concerns at night. The sun is setting on day 2, and with it comes a creeping dread that most people underestimate: security. Last night, the darkness felt a little spooky, but tonight it feels dangerous. With no streetlights, every shadow looks suspicious. The neighborhood you once called safe now feels like a movie set for a horror film. You can't see who or what might be lurking outside. And with power out, home security systems are offline too. That smart home with its cameras and alarms? Useless. Windows that once felt secure now feel like weak spots. Doors that you swore were solid suddenly seem flimsy. And that trusty deadbolt? Not so trusty when your neighbors are desperate and your local law enforcement is overwhelmed. And let's be honest, desperation changes people. Even the nicest neighbor might start eyeing your generator or that glow from your candles. People who forgot to prep might see your stash of supplies as their salvation, and they might be willing to do anything to get it. Did you think about blackout curtains? If you've got a candle or a lantern burning, it's a beacon in the darkness, advertising that your house has power, food, or water. And that might be all it takes to attract unwanted attention. Did you think about your own safety? A simple stick in the sliding door track, an improvised alarm, a plan to hunker down quietly? Or did you assume that day 2 would be just another quiet night? By day 2, your home stops feeling like a safe haven and starts to feel like a potential target. And that's when the stress goes through the roof, because it's not just about staying warm or fed, it's about staying safe from the people who didn't plan ahead. If day 1 was a test of patience, day 2 is a test of your security plan. And if you didn't have one, tonight is going to feel a lot longer and a lot darker than you ever expected. Number 9, cold or heat survival without HVAC. If you're dealing with cold weather, the risk of hypothermia sneaks up on you. That drafty window you ignored on day 1 suddenly feels like an open invitation for frostbite. Blankets? Sure, but how many do you really have? Layering clothes works only so long, and sitting still makes your body temperature drop even faster. On the other hand, heat waves without air conditioning are no picnic either. Dehydration creeps in quicker than you think, and the exhaustion from sweating all day without relief can lead to heat stroke. The fan you relied on? Dead. The cool shower you planned to take? Forget it. Remember, your HVAC system isn't just about comfort, it's about survival. No heat in the cold, no cooling in the heat means your body is under constant stress. And this stress weakens your immune system, making you more vulnerable to illness just when medical help is harder to find. This is where smart layering, insulating windows, using damp cloths for cooling, and managing your activity levels become life-saving skills. And if you didn't prep for this, day 2 will be a harsh wake-up call. Number 10, prep, mistakes that now cost you. By now, you've lived through a full day without power, and day 2 is showing you all the mistakes you made or didn't know you were making in your prep. Maybe you grabbed batteries but forgot to test your flashlights. Maybe your emergency food stash includes a ton of dry goods but no canned goods. Did you know that hoarding water is useless if you don't have a way to purify it? Or that without proper knowledge, your backup generator can be a safety hazard? These aren't just minor oversights, they're costly lessons in survival. People forget about basic things like manual can openers, matches, or lighters, or even knowing where the emergency kit really is in the house. And don't forget those little things that seem irrelevant now, like having cash on hand when credit card machines are dead, or a printed copy of important phone numbers. The real kicker? These mistakes don't just cost convenience. They can cost your safety, your health, even your life. And as day 2 fades into day 3, the consequences start piling up. This is why prepping isn't a set it and forget it deal. It's a continuous process of learning, testing, and improving. If you haven't already, day 2 will teach you that survival isn't about luck. It's about preparation, planning, and practice. If all of this feels overwhelming, well, it should. Because day 2 is just the calm before the real storm. By the time day 3 rolls around, what seemed manageable starts spiraling into genuine danger. Food runs low, water supplies dwindle, and the stress on your mind and body reaches a tipping point. If all of this feels overwhelming, well, it should. Because day 2 is just the calm before the real storm. By the time day 3 rolls around, what seemed manageable starts spiraling into genuine danger. Food runs low, water supplies dwindle, and the stress on your mind and body reaches a tipping point. So here's your next step. Hit that subscribe button now. Because in our next video, we're diving deep into the survival hacks, mindset shifts, and critical actions you must take before day 3 gets any worse. Trust me, you don't want to miss it. And while you're here, drop a comment below and tell me, what's the one item you'll never forget to stock again after going through this?